Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're going to be diving deep today
Fine.
into the world of supplements and vitamins,
Okay.
but with a specific focus on how all of this stuff affects us as autistic women.
Right.
Ready for this?
Again.
So basically our goal today is to just help you,
Yeah.
equip you with all the knowledge that you need to be
Yeah.
able to make informed decisions
Yes.
about what to put in your body and what not to put in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Should we separate fact from fiction today?
Do it.
I am so excited because my brain was like exploding with all these like highlighter marks
Oh, yeah.
when I was reading through the source material for today,
Cool.
which is a really fascinating episode of the Cheap ABA podcast.
Nice.
And we'll link that in the show notes for
Right.
everyone.
Awesome.
So they talk about this thing that just blew my mind,
Okay.
which is how high doses of B vitamins
Yeah.
or B vitamins that so many people are like, oh, this is good for you. Take it.
Right. It's like a cure-all.
It can actually trigger anxiety.
Yeah.
So can you explain that to me?
Yeah. So it's kind of a surprise, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it really comes down to our neurochemistry and how these things can
Yes.
affect it. So high doses of like B6 and B12,
Yeah.
they can really mess with neurotransmitter balance in some people.
Mm-hmm.
And so for anyone who's prone to anxiety,
Yeah.
it could just like pour fuel on that fire.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm kind of more interested now in like,
Yeah.
what are the supplements that can actually be helpful?
Yeah, for sure.
Not just the ones to avoid.
Right.
So where should we even start with that?
So the Cheap ABA episode,
Yeah.
they actually highlight
Yeah.
omega-3 fatty acids as like a potential rock star.
Okay. And not just in like the good for your heart way. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about brain power here.
Totally, yeah.
Can you like break it down for me? How do omega-3s help the brain?
Yeah, so think about like
Yeah.
your brain cells as these tiny little cities,
Uh-huh.
and they're constantly like buzzing with communication. And omega-3s, particularly DHA,
Mm-hmm.
they're like the building blocks for the walls of those cities,
Oh, wow.
the cell membranes.
Okay.
So the more DHA you have, the more fluid
Yeah.
and efficient that communication becomes.
Oh.
And so for autistic people
Yeah.
who might experience differences in neural processing,
Mm-hmm.
that can be a game changer, you know?
So it's like greasing the wheels of the
Mhm.
brain to help everything run smoother?
Yeah.
All right. What else did they flag as potentially beneficial?
So another one they talk about is vitamin D,
Oh, yeah.
which we all know is like the sunshine vitamin.
Right?
And it's like super crucial for strong bones,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also involved in regulating mood
Interesting.
and supporting the immune system,
Okay.
which are two areas that many autistic women face
Yeah.
challenges with.
Totally.
So that's important to think about.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm always hearing about the importance of having a strong immune system,
Right.
especially with all the sensory challenges. Yeah, totally.
That we face.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, vitamin D. Maybe I should look into that.
Right.
What about magnesium?
Magnesium.
Like everyone's talking about that these days.
Yeah, and for good reason. It's amazing.
Wow.
It plays a huge role in like hundreds of processes in your body.
Yeah.
But let's just focus on the effects
Okay.
that it has on your nervous system and muscles.
All right.
Essentially, it acts as a calming agent.
Oh.
So it helps to soothe those overstimulated nerves and relax tense muscles.
Okay, that's making a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
For someone like me who's like always struggling with sensory overload,
Right.
having something to help calm my nerves down sounds incredible.
Totally. And think about the potential benefits from managing those sensory sensitivities that so many autistic women experience.
Yeah.
It's not just about avoiding overload.
Mhm.
It's about creating a sense of inner peace and calm.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, one last one from the good list before we move on.
To the ones that might be a little more
Sure.
problematic.
Right.
They talk about probiotics in the Cheap ABA episode.
Yes.
What's the deal with those?
Probiotics are like the friendly bacteria that live in your gut,
Okay.
and they're like really helpful for digestion and keeping things balanced.
Right.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
There's all this new research pointing to a strong connection
Mm-hmm.
between your gut health and your brain function,
Really?
particularly for people on the autism spectrum.
Wow. So taking care of your gut could actually have ripple effects on mood behavior,
Yeah.
social interactions even.
Yeah, exactly. It's still early days in the research,
Right.
but the potential implications are huge.
Okay.
And I think it adds a whole new dimension to this idea of
Yeah.
holistic health and well-being.
I'm already starting to see how important it is to be really thoughtful about how I approach supplements as an autistic woman.
Okay.
It's not just about blindly following trends It's about understanding the science and how it connects to my specific needs.
Exactly.
All right. I think we're ready to switch gears a little bit.
Go.
And talk about some of the supplements that may not be as beneficial.
Right.
We already touched on high-dose B vitamins a little bit.
Yeah.
But what else should we be wary of?
Okay, so like all those energy-boosting supplements that are so popular these days, I mean, they sound tempting.
Of course. Who doesn't want more energy?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
But for those of us who are already prone to anxiety or sensory sensitivities, it can be kind of a recipe for disaster.
Wait, really? What's the downside?
Well, it's all about what's fueling that energy boost.
Okay.
They often rely on stimulants,
Yeah.
which can like send your nervous system into overdrive.
Oh, wow.
So imagine feeling wired and jittery, but in a way that makes your anxiety worse.
Okay.
And it's harder to cope with sensory overload.
Yeah, I definitely hadn't considered that before.
Right.
What about herbal supplements? Ugh, herbal supplements.
They seem like they'd be more natural.
Yeah, I know.
More gentle.
Right. Now, so here's the thing with herbal supplements.
Okay.
A lot of them are unregulated.
Oh.
So there's a lot of variability in the quality and the potency.
Yeah.
You never really know what you're getting.
Right.
And plus they can interact with medication
Okay.
in unpredictable ways.
So we're talking potential for unexpected side effects.
Exactly.
Maybe even making my sensitivities worse.
Yeah, and because autistic women
Yeah.
often have unique sensitivities, it's really crucial to approach herbal supplements with caution.
Right.
You can't just assume they're safe.
Yeah.
Because they're natural.
So what you're saying is I need to be informed and do my research before I jump on any supplement bandwagon.
Exactly. And it's not just about reading labels or trusting online reviews. It's about having a deeper understanding of your own body, your specific needs.
And how these things are going to interact with your own neurochemistry.
This is starting to feel a little overwhelming.
I know it's a lot, but don't worry.
Okay.
We're about to equip you with some strategies to help you navigate this complex world. Remember, knowledge is power.
Love it.
The more you understand, the more empowered you'll be to make choices that support your well-being.
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I think before we jump into the strategies, it's important to just acknowledge some of the specific challenges that autistic women often face when it comes to supplements and vitamins.
Right. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Exactly.
What do they talk about in the episode?
So they talked about sensory sensitivities and how those can impact supplement choices.
Okay.
And it's not just about what's inside the bottle.
Right.
It's about the format.
Okay.
Like swallowing pills, dealing with certain tastes or textures. That can be a huge barrier for some people.
That makes so much sense. I've definitely struggled with pill swallowing. In the past.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to choose between your health and your sensory comfort.
Exactly.
Right.
And it just highlights a need for more accessible and sensory-friendly options.
Totally.
There are some companies out there starting to do that, but there's still a long way to go.
They also brought up the issue of comorbid conditions.
Comorbid conditions, yes.
And if I'm being honest, I wasn't entirely sure what that meant until they explained it.
Yeah, so comorbid conditions are just other health issues that often occur alongside autism. So things like anxiety, depression, gastrointestinal problems.
Okay.
Those are much more common in autistic women.
Got it. So choosing supplements becomes even trickier.
Yeah.
Because you have to think about how they might interact with other medications and affect those other conditions.
Yeah, it's like a delicate balancing act.
Yeah.
And it really emphasizes the importance of working with healthcare professionals who really understand autism and all its complexities.
And they also talked about the problem of misinformation.
Misinformation,
yes. It's everywhere.
It is. It's everywhere, especially online.
It's so hard to know what to trust.
It really is. It's like a minefield out there.
Yeah.
And autistic women might be more susceptible to falling prey to those exaggerated claims or miracle cures.
Right.
Because we're often seeking solutions to our unique challenges. And it's easy to get caught up in the hype.
Oh, I've totally been there.
Yeah.
You want to believe there's this simple fix.
Right.
This magic bullet that's going to make everything better.
Exactly. And that's why critical thinking and a healthy dose of skepticism are so important.
Okay.
You can't just take someone's word for it.
Right.
Even if they seem like an expert. Do your research. consult with reputable sources.
Okay.
And remember, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
It's about being an informed and empowered consumer.
Exactly.
Not just blindly following trends, but understanding what you're putting in your body.
Yes.
And why.
That's the key.
And that brings us to self-advocacy.
Self-advocacy, yes.
Which is so crucial in healthcare.
Yeah.
Especially with all this stuff.
Absolutely.
So what does self-advocacy look like in this context?
So it's about asking questions.
Okay.
Lots of questions. Don't be afraid to challenge your doctors. Assumptions. Seek out second opinions. If you're not comfortable with the information that you're getting. And make sure that your voice is heard.
It's about being an active participant.
Yes.
In your own health journey.
You got it.
Not just a passive recipient of care.
Okay, so let's shift gears a
Okay.
little bit and talk about some practical things
Right.
that autistic women can do to navigate this world
Okay.
of supplements and vitamins safely and effectively.
I'm ready. What do we do?
So the Cheap ABA episode had some excellent advice
Okay.
that I think our listeners will find valuable.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so they stress the importance
Yeah.
of starting with a thorough assessment
Okay.
of your current diet and lifestyle.
So it's like laying the foundation before you start building a house.
Exactly.
You got to figure out what nutrients you're already getting enough of.
Right.
And where you might have gaps.
And they also recommend keeping a detailed journal.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I've tried food journaling before.
Yeah.
But I never thought about tracking my symptoms in the same way.
It can be really helpful to just like see if certain foods or activities trigger particular symptoms or if a new supplement is actually making a difference.
Wow. So it's like you're a detective of your own health.
Exactly.
Okay. What else?
They also emphasize the importance of paying attention to your body signals.
Okay.
And trusting your intuition. We often ignore those subtle whispers.
Right.
But our bodies are constantly sending us messages.
I think that's especially important for autistic women.
Totally.
Because we're so often told to mask our true selves and conform to societal expectations.
Exactly.
But our bodies know what they need.
Yeah. It's about reconnecting with that inner wisdom and honoring those signals that our bodies are sending us.
So if something feels off, don't ignore it.
Exactly. It could be a sign that something needs to change.
They also talked about being patient and persistent.
Patience and persistence, yes.
Finding the right supplements and dosages.
It takes time.
Yeah.
And experimentation.
Right.
It's not a quick fix. It's a journey.
Oh.
There will be ups and downs, twists and turns. But don't get discouraged.
Yeah.
Keep trying different things.
Okay.
Keep track of your progress.
Got it.
And remember, you're not alone in this.
That is so reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
It's so easy to feel lost when you're trying to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah.
But knowing that other people are going through it too is super helpful.
And speaking of finding support, I think it's really important to mention some of the resources that are available to autistic women seeking guidance on supplements and vitamins.
Let's hear it.
All right. So the Cheap ABA episode, they recommend connecting with autistic-led organizations and online communities is a good starting point.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Those spaces offer so much lived experience, practical advice from people who really get it.
Totally. And it's such a great way to connect with others who are on a similar journey.
Exactly.
Share tips, share resources, build community.
They also suggested seeking out healthcare professionals who specialize in autism and who have experience working with autistic women.
Finding a doctor who really gets it can make all the difference.
It really can.
Someone who is knowledgeable but also sensitive and really listens.
Yeah. And they also mentioned the importance of reading books and articles written by autistic authors and experts in the field of autism and nutrition.
So prioritizing those voices that are often marginalized in mainstream healthcare.
Exactly. It can be so empowering.
It's like reclaiming our own health journeys.
Yes.
What else?
And then they suggest exploring online databases and websites that provide evidence-based information on supplements and vitamins.
So it's not just about Googling random supplements. It's about seeking out those reputable sources.
Exactly.
The ones that are backed by research.
It's about arming yourself with knowledge so you can make informed decisions about your health.
This is really giving me a sense of hope.
Good.
Like, I don't have to figure all this out alone.
You absolutely do not have to figure this out alone.
Right.
And that's a really important message.
Yeah.
To leave our listeners with today. You are not alone on this journey.
There are people who understand.
Yes.
Resources to guide you. A community to support you.
Speaking of community.
Yes.
I think it's time to bring in some of our listeners' perspective.
Yes, let's do it.
We asked our audience to share their own experiences with supplements and vitamins.
Yeah.
And we got some really insightful responses.
I'm excited. I love hearing from our listeners. Their stories are so valuable.
Okay, let's hear what they have to say.
So one listener wrote in and she said that magnesium has been like a game changer for her anxiety and sleep.
Wow.
She called it her miracle mineral.
I love that.
Isn't that awesome?
It is. It's amazing how a single supplement can have such a profound impact on someone.
Yeah, and it really speaks to that idea of like, you got to find what works for you, not just follow generic advice.
A personalized approach.
But then we had another listener who shared a totally different experience.
All right.
She said she tried a high-dose B vitamin complex and ended up having a panic attack.
Oh, wow.
So, like, the exact opposite of what you'd expect.
That's a really good reminder that what works for one person can have the opposite effect on another.
Totally.
Especially when it comes to neurochemistry.
Yeah.
So starting low and slow.
Right.
Paying attention to your body's signals.
Yeah.
It's crucial.
It's like you're treating your body as an experiment.
Yes.
But like a careful one.
Right.
Where you're constantly observing.
Exactly.
And making adjustments.
In the end.
Yeah. A few listeners mentioned finding success working with practitioners.
Yeah.
Who take a more holistic approach. Like functional medicine doctors.
Yeah.
Naturopaths who specialize in autism.
Right. That makes sense.
Because they often have a very different perspective on healthcare. And they're maybe more open.
Yeah.
To exploring alternative therapies.
Totally.
And supplements.
Which can be really helpful for autistic people who haven't found relief through conventional routes.
It's all about finding those healthcare providers.
Yes.
Who are aligned with your values and who are willing to work with you as a partner.
Absolutely. A collaborative approach is so important.
Listening to these stories just brings home the message that we've been talking about this whole time.
It's a complex landscape. Supplements and vitamins.
There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Especially for autistic women.
And it all comes back to that self-awareness and empowerment.
It really does.
Right.
By understanding our unique needs.
Yeah.
Doing our research, advocating for ourselves, we can make choices that truly support our well-being.
Before we wrap things up.
Okay.
I have to circle back to something you said earlier.
Right.
It really stuck with me.
Okay.
It's a constant conversation between you and your body.
I love that.
I think that's such a beautiful way to frame this.
It's not just about taking a pill or following a specific regimen.
It's about cultivating that deep sense of self-awareness.
Exact.
Tuning into those whispers.
Those subtle whispers.
And really honoring that wisdom of your body.
You are your own best health advocate.
Absolutely.
Trust your intuition.
You have the power to make those choices that support your well-being.
And you don't have to do it alone.
So important to remember.
There's a community out there ready to support you, share their experiences, offer guidance.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep advocating for your health and happiness.
Love it.
And remember, we're always here to support you on your journey.
Until next time, may your deep dive into self-discovery and empowerment be filled with joy,
love it,
insight, and vibrant well-being.